All right, well, hi everyone. I'm Mayor Yxstian Gutierrez. Thank you so much for your interest, also for taking the time to join this meeting, this virtual town hall meeting. And I do want to say that I've asked staff to ask me whatever questions you have asked. No filter there, just ask the questions along. I understand that this is a very difficult time for many of us. And, as a city, we've had to confront many challenges, like anything we've ever seen before, unlike anything we've ever seen before. And we've responded as a city. We've responded vigorously to issues like dealing with our food issues, supplies, senior assistance, financial issues, business closure orders by the governor, and many other challenges that, unfortunately, this global pandemic has created within our community. So one of the many societal changes that I think that the coronavirus crisis has brought to us has been a new comfort with the idea and process of video conferencing, which I think is a good thing. I think a lot of us have actually started doing that. I think teleconferencing is one of the positive changes that we'll see become part of the so-called new normal when this crisis is finally behind us. As a result of this crisis, I want to say that we've activated the city's Emergency Operations Center, EOC, to help coordinate our response to this situation. So twice a day, everyone involved in the EOC provides an update on activities going on in their area of responsibility. And we have tried really, really hard to use every tool, whether it's Facebook posts on Instagram, sharing to other pages, to really expose the community to what we are doing as a city on a daily basis. So what I want to just do in this virtual session is really to go over, our response as a city, what we've actually done, to go over some innovative programs that we are going to be implementing for our small businesses, and then also allow an opportunity for you to ask questions and for me to respond with very accurate information as well. By the way, some of the tools that we have used include the public service announcements, those videos that I've posted, the social media posts, the emergency alerts, and please sign up, by the way, for Alert MOval if you haven't done so. Recorded phone messages, all different types of activities. So right now I'm going to do a presentation really quick of what we've actually done and kind of talk about a little bit of the background, as far as the city of Moreno Valley, and briefly share with you some details of how the virus has actually impacted our city, even our budget as well. And then I'll go over a few other things related to the coronavirus crisis as far as our parks, libraries, and those types of things as well. And then we'll talk about the innovative programs, and then I'll take your questions as well. All right, so I'm going to start really quick with the first slide. And the first slide that we actually have here is that Moreno Valley has been the distinction of being really the first city, unfortunately, in America, to have had to respond to the coronavirus crisis, dating all the way back to January, as many of you know, when the federal government literally within a few hours, it was the evening when I got a phone call, hours notice that the first plane load of State Department evacuees from China was being rerouted from Ontario International Airport to our March Air Reserve Base. In fact, by the way, I want to take this opportunity to applaud the base because they handled the situation. Colonel Coburn handled the situation very well. She didn't have much notice as well. And so I think they did a great job, by the way. But I thought I just wanted to use this opportunity again to just share with you some of the things that we have done. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start on that. Let me go ahead and start with the slide. Make sure you're on the right. There we go. COVID-19 cases. So just to give you a little bit of background information in regards to the cases with the city of Moreno Valley and also the county and everything. So the number of confirmed cases in the state of California is 56,200 that we have as of today. Confirmed deaths in California are about 2,300 cases that are deaths. And then confirmed cases in Riverside County is about 4,454. And then we have about 184, unfortunately, that have succumbed to this disease as of today. And there'll probably be a few more, unfortunately, after 4:30 when the Riverside County Public Office mentions how many they've had. We also have about 1,997 individuals that have recovered from this virus. And then looking at our city, so just taking a more narrow approach, we have about 510 confirmed cases in the city of Moreno Valley. Now, mind you, the city of Moreno Valley is the second largest city of the county. So we do have the second largest amount of cases, unfortunately. And we do have 17 deaths confirmed in the city of Moreno Valley. All right, so I'm going to go to the next slide here. So just to talk a little bit about the current orders, because I know it can be kind of confusing to many people. There's all these types of orders going around left and right. So just to, there's a lot of different various orders, and it can be difficult to understand, what's going on. So the school closure was ordered by the Riverside County Public Health, which is technically the lead agency in responding to all health aspects of the coronavirus crisis. The requirement to wear face coverings was also by order of the Riverside County Public Health. The statewide stay-at-home order was also from Governor Newsom. So were the orders, basically these were orders specifying that essential and non-essential businesses had to be closed. So that came from the governor. And the orders restricting public access to city facilities, including city parks, came from the city in an effort really to help stop the spread or slow the spread and protect our community. So that's just a quick little rundown of the various orders that we've had at the state and county and then now and also at the local level. That said, I do want to mention that yesterday the County Board of Supervisors in a very long meeting, I believe it was 11 hours, decided to, after they heard public testimony, to delay a vote to rescind the county order requiring face coverings and other county public health orders. And so my understanding is that they will reconvene this Friday. So if you do have concerns of any of those orders, of the face mask orders or any of those things, to please reach out to their office, to their meeting this Friday and make your voice be heard. And one of the reasons that they're going to reconvene this Friday, from my understanding, is that it will be after Governor Newsom releases his full phase-in plan. So what does this mean for Moreno Valley? Well, the most important thing to know is that the statewide stay-at-home order remains in effect. Okay, so no matter what, we still have the statewide stay-at-home order in effect by the governor. So that means any essential travel restriction remains in effect as well. Physical distancing, making sure that you're 6 feet apart also remains strongly recommended. And physical distancing is not an order, but it is a public health technique that has proven highly effective in slowing the spread and avoiding the surge in hospitalizations. And by the way, I think we've done a great job in the city of Moreno Valley and in the county in really avoiding the surge and trying to flatten that curve, by the way. Public access to our city facilities is still technically restricted. So if you've done business with the city during this crisis, you know how things work right now. The many classes, sports that we normally provide in our parks and rec centers are also suspended for right now until further notice. City-sponsored events are also canceled or suspended as well. Now, mind you, just to let you know, the governor does have a restriction on gatherings, and so we have to take a look at that, and I believe that's stage 4, so there's 4 stages in his plan to reopen our economy and state. And so in stage 4 is where we're actually able to allow gatherings, large gatherings. And so, unfortunately, the really nice, great events that we want, the 4th of July event that we love and adore, all of those events, MOval Rocks and Movies, is really dependent on what the governor says, of how fast we can move through those stages and how fast we can get to stage 4. But what I can tell you is what we are doing here in the city of Moreno Valley under our jurisdiction and under our authority. So starting Friday, May 8th, we will partially, and I'll say partially, reopen city parks with limitations, which include physical distancing and no gatherings. So, it's important that residents have the opportunity, for mental health, physical health, exercise, to get out in public areas, walks, necessary exercise, but avoid the gatherings as much as possible. But you can, starting Friday, May 8th, access our parks and also our trails as well. Per Governor Newsom's Phase 2 plan, more businesses will begin to open on Friday. So let me go into a little bit of detail there as far as what types of businesses. Businesses including bookstores, music stores, clothing retailers, florists, sporting goods stores. They can all operate, but it has to be curbside pickup only. And there is a clause, he did put a clause in there for regional variation, where individual counties can make different determinations on how fast they want to move in that stage. And in that stage, or stage 2, does include dine-in restaurants and other types of sectors as well. So if the county decides to move faster, then that would actually be a county decision. And I will provide more information as this becomes available, especially after Friday when the county does reconvene, at their meeting to determine, what to do as far as the county health orders. So just to summarize of who's in charge of what and when it comes to the levels of government, because it can be confusing, just want to give you this analogy that's like having 3 different size umbrellas, I guess you could say. So the smallest umbrella would be the city, meaning that we have authority over our city facilities, employees, parks, events, and services. The county's umbrella would cover the entire county, and it would include the cities in it. This includes coordination and operation of the public health response as well. And then the state's umbrella, which is the largest umbrella, covers all county and city governments. And what I can say is that cities can enact stricter measures than the county, and counties can be more strict than the state as well. So just keep that in mind. But cities cannot and counties cannot relax something that the state has that's already a stricter order, at least not legally. So that's just a rundown there. So we're going to go over all of that in more detail coming today, and hopefully with the Q&A and the questions that are asked as well. I want to say that we've really focused our efforts during this crisis on doing what's in our power, right, to provide actual help to real people in need. For example, unfortunately, the city does not run food banks, but right away we contacted the many churches that were out here, the nonprofits, to do food pantries and to really get them coordinated in their efforts and to deliver, by the way. So if you go to rcoaging.org, you can find a list of food pantries and resources that are there. And also if you go to moval.org/coronavirus, you can also find those various food pantries that are there as well. But we also took a step forward, and we made sure that, because unfortunately not everybody was able to get all the right help. So we started a program called MOval Meals. And this is a program to help our seniors in need and individuals with disabilities as well, who are having a hard time, getting the groceries. And like many of you know, during those first few weeks of March, when the closure happened, there was a panic and people were taking all kinds of supplies. So this program actually helps over 500 different seniors, and it provides weekly care packages for our seniors, and has been a great, great program. And by the way, I'm going to be sharing an innovative program that's coming in actually pretty soon. It's going to be a really great program. It's called Senior Eats. This is the program that we're unveiling, and this is a program that in partnership with the state. in partnership with the state, that we're actually coordinating where we are providing 2 meals a day with a restaurant. So we're going to actually be a direct provider with the state of California. And so I'm very, very excited with that program. It's a partnership with the governor. It's a partnership where 75% is paid by FEMA and about 18% and some change is paid by the state, and then the rest, 6% and a quarter, is paid by the city. And not many cities applied in Riverside County. Now, Riverside County did apply, and they are a direct provider, but so is Moreno Valley. Moreno Valley is a direct provider, and I did that for several reasons. I wanted to make sure that Moreno Valley residents had access to those restaurants and those meals, and I wanted to make sure that we can at least keep our economy going, you know, in making sure that we have, you know, that sales tax revenue coming in from the restaurants, and then more local hire as well. So those were the main reasons for wanting to apply for that program. So now what I want to talk about is that we're really working hard to attract all kinds of new businesses. I'm going to try to wrap it up a little fast here so that way we can get to the Q&A. Many different new businesses, and we have many new programs that we're actually implementing. We also work hard to help them succeed because that's good for our entire community. MOval is about, just to tell you, MOval, we actually had 4,500 businesses in normal time. Once this pandemic hit, unfortunately, about half of those businesses are at least temporarily closed. And so that has, by the way, affected our bottom line, you know, our budget, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and our shortfall, and some of the measures that we're now going to take, you know, as a city. But I'm proud to say that we have stepped up, and we are the only city in Riverside County that still has operating our Employment Resource Center, ERC, to help businesses access federal and state assistance. Other cities have actually closed their ERC. We actually have the only ERC open in Riverside County, where we have employees obviously practicing social distancing, wearing a mask, helping residents with webinars, getting access to virtual trainings, getting access to job lists, applying for jobs, and learning about all those different things as well. There is another program that we will be introducing as a city, and it's a micro grant program. And so, as many of you know, the federal government has given the city of Moreno Valley CARE dollars, the CARE Act dollars, about $1.2 million. And so we're going to be allocating that money to small businesses of grants of $5,000 each to small businesses. Starting May 19th, actually after May 19th, so May 20th, small businesses can apply for that micro grant, and you know, they don't have to pay it back or anything like that. Now, of course, it's not a lot of money, but at least it's something to help them at least for 1 month or maybe 2 months. So this includes, you know, dance studios, this includes small businesses, mom and pop shops, you know, that need that help for you know, to cover their operating expenses as well. I also want to point out as well that if you are a business owner and you are, you know, and it is affecting your income obviously, and you still have to pay certain expenses and everything, that, you know, you should consider, and there is no shame in this, you know, that you should consider, you know, going to the EDD office and applying for what we call Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, the PUA program. And this is a program that actually will provide you at least $600 a week plus $167 as well. If you can prove that you've actually had more than $17,000 in income in the last 18 months, then you can actually qualify for $450 a week plus the $600 as well. So that's something that the federal government has done and that a lot of businesses unfortunately don't know about. So if you know any business that is struggling, please tell them about that. Please tell them about this new micro grant program for small businesses starting May 20th, where they can apply. These are going to be some good things, especially the micro grant monies that we have. And then as far as businesses, we have another program that we're using as well, the Hire MOval program, the Hire a Vet program, the Hire a Grad program. These were programs that we already had before, but I've loosened some of the regulations of some of those programs because we actually have dollars in there. So if you're a small business and you do have a recent graduate, for example, that graduated from maybe high school or a college or a regional program in the last 6 months, you can actually qualify for $1,000 per employee. Also, if you have a vet, you can qualify for $1,000 as well per employee. So there's a lot of those programs that we have. So I really encourage, it's a lot of information. So I encourage you to just call my office at 951-413-3008 and ask to speak to our Economic Development Department. Jackie Melendra, she's our Deputy City Manager who oversees that department. Great person. Her staff is wonderful, and they will walk you through those various programs to see if maybe there's some areas that maybe you can qualify for. There was one business in particular, just so you know, that qualified for up to $10,000. So $5,000 and $5,000, and then maybe potentially on May 20th, if they qualify for the micro grant, then they'll qualify for another $5,000. So there's money that's out there. We just have to be creative about it, right? So if you reach out to us, we can try to help you in many different ways. The other side of that equation is the employment side. So there's a huge number of workers who are currently unemployed through no fault of their own. I'm sure you know that. They've never applied for unemployment insurance or needed to ask for help before. But again, our ERC is there for them, so that's really important. And then also, if you go to benefits.gov, and then you actually answer the questions there, they will give you a list of other resources as well, other resources that you could qualify. To navigate for the unemployment application process, again, they can go to the ERC office as well, and we can help them too. We can, again, help them find those jobs, like I mentioned earlier. Even during this crisis, there are local businesses that are hiring, and we can connect those workers with some of those employers as well. We also took action. Now I want to talk about what we've actually done here in the city as far as renters by suspending penalties or interests to rent payments that can be made, that may be late due to the coronavirus crisis. This does not mean, I want to make it very clear, it does not mean that renters never have to pay their rent. And make it very, very clear. It doesn't mean that you don't have to pay your rent. What it really means is that renters have to communicate with their landlord and should communicate with their landlord and demonstrate that they can't pay rent due to the coronavirus and then work out a solution. That's really what it means. And it really means that, there's no late fees, that late fees cannot be charged. Both renters and landlords have bills to pay. Keep that in mind. But this is an effort to help them both benefit. I do also want to mention that the governor has put a moratorium on evictions as well. So that's in effect, and that's actually statewide. And then the local court system is not hearing any cases on evictions until May 18th as well. But again, when in doubt, if you're struggling in making any payments, just don't pay, but at least contact your landlord and try to tell them, to work out the solution, about maybe when you could pay, maybe when your EDD benefits start coming in, or, and I know there's some folks that still haven't even gotten their stimulus check yet. So, there's a lot of those issues as well. I've also been asked a question about when are we getting a testing station in Moreno Valley? And I can tell you something, that testing is actually already available in Moreno Valley. Riverside University Health System in Moreno Valley conducts testing every day, every single day, and we're lucky to have them here in our city. There are also about over 13 locations throughout the county where residents without symptoms can be tested. All you need to do is just call ahead and make an appointment if you would like to be tested by the county. You can go to their website, which is rivcoph.org. Again, rivcoph.org, and to schedule your appointment. And so far, there's been about 35,000 county residents that have been tested. You can also, just to briefly mention, that you can reach out to, if you do have private insurance, you can reach out to Kaiser or whichever other organization that you go to or hospital. And like, for example, Blue Shield and Kaiser, they're offering free testing as well at any of their clinics as well. But again, you can go to our county hospital or any of the testing sites for free testing. And you don't even have to have any symptoms as well. And that's citywide. So I do want to mention that the reason we have avoided the surge in hospitalizations that we feared is that the stay-at-home order, physical distancing, and regular hand washing have actually worked. I think have actually worked. And I urge everyone to keep doing these types of things, that work, washing our hands, keeping the distance. Our medical professionals are telling us this information. And so in a nutshell, I just hope that information was helpful. Now let's get to some of the questions that maybe you have in the Q&A. And so I will ask Pat, if you can go ahead and Pat, if you, in any order, go ahead and start asking the questions for me.
Okay. Our first participant asks, I lost my job because of COVID-19. What can you do to help? I have no income and a family to support.
I think you might be muted. Okay, there you go.
I lost my job because of COVID-19. What can you do to help? I have no income and a family to support.
Well, it's been a drastic issue, in our city, the unemployment. And first, I'm sorry that you're going through this situation right now. It's severely impacted, I'm sure, your life and the life of many, many residents, men and women, in our city. But I want you to know I'm trying to do everything that I can. And we are all here, the city council, the staff is trying to do everything that we can to help. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have the only employment resource center in the county open, and that's in Moreno Valley, and it's run by Moreno Valley. It's known as our ERC. So I, would suggest, to reach out to them to kind of make sure that, everything is going well with your benefits and everything like that, and the crisis as well. So, we haven't closed. We have not closed at all, and we're going to continue to stay open with our ERC. You can receive assistance looking for a job there, applying for unemployment, like I said, unemployment insurance, creating a resume, many other important job search tools. And so the ERC, just so you know, it's actually next to Polly's Pies by the mall off of Frederick Street. And it just says ERC Employment Resource Center there. You can also call as well, and I believe the correct number is 951-413-3920, 413-3920. For more information about the Employment Resource Center. But if in doubt, if that's not the correct number, you can always just call 951-413-3008, and that's the mayor and council's office, and then we can direct you to the right place. Also, I would encourage you to sign up for the Hire MOval job seekers list that we do a blitz email weekly, if not daily, of like local hiring announcements that are happening. And you can do that at moval.org/hire MOval. And I just want you to know that my staff is happy to help connect you to the appropriate resources needed to get through this tough time. In fact, just to tell you something, we had another resident that contacted me that was not getting the benefits. And what I did is we personally reached out to Assemblymember Medina's office and his office and we coordinated to get the right contact of someone at EDD, and the person was able to get their income a lot faster. So, we're willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to work around the clock here, and all of us are here to help you. So please reach out when in doubt to the ERC or reach out to my office, and we will try to connect you to the right resources. Thank you, and next question.
Yes. Why hasn't the city provided any information about coronavirus to us? Am I missing something?
Okay, well, great question with that. What I can tell you is that it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult, even as mayor, as I think most cities, in getting the information out to all residents in a city. And we are the 16th largest city, 213,000 residents, so it is very difficult. But what I can assure you is that we have released a lot of helpful coronavirus-related information. Actually, I think more than any city in Riverside County. And so just, here are some ways that we've actually done that, by the way. I've regularly posted on my Facebook page. I know the city staff has regularly posted, the media team on their Facebook page, on Instagram as well, Twitter. You can also go to moval.org/coronavirus. So moval.org/coronavirus. And we have information and links there as well. Information to the Centers for Disease Control, the state of California, Riverside County Public Health, the orders, all of that. And we're constantly updating that information every single time. And then also every week, just to mention, we also issue a Moreno Valley at Work newsletter. And every week I write a mayor's message, and that also has information about coronavirus and the pandemic. We are active on our social media, so please follow us, and I'll use this as an opportunity. So our Facebook page is the City of Moreno Valley. So if you type City of Moreno Valley, Facebook. And then if you go to Instagram, it's at City of Moreno Valley. And then Twitter, it's at MOval City Hall, at MOval City Hall. And you can follow us on any one of those accounts. You can also view any coronavirus informational videos too, even on YouTube and MVTV3 as well. And so if you're on our lists for like the mayor's message or MOval at Work, or you're following any of those social media accounts, I think you will receive that information, and I apologize that you haven't. And I can just tell you that on your essential trips that you may have also noticed important messages, displayed throughout the city. We have some new little digital message signs as well, kind of outside. So you might have noticed that. So keep that in mind. And then, like I mentioned, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, the mayor's message, and then also Alert MOval, which is very, very important. You can do all of that at moval.org. Thank you for the question.
Our next participant asks, is City Hall shut down?
Actually, City Hall is not shut down, and I've actually gotten that question a lot. City Hall is currently operating. We're working every single day to ensure that our community is well served. However, the City Hall building is temporarily closed to the public, but we can, through appointments and virtual Zoom and all different types of teleconferencing that we're doing, we can reach out to you and meet with you virtually. So we do have that. We also, just keep in mind, public safety, police, fire, also our maintenance crews, they're all operating. They're all still working. City Hall is still working and still functioning. With that said, we are also open for business online. You can, again, make an appointment for certain services, and you can do that through the online website that we have at moval.org, or you just can call the main hotline number. Like I mentioned, 951-413-3000 or 413-3008, which is our office, from about 7:30 to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then we can figure out, how we can help you that way. Okay, next question.
What coronavirus resources are available to people who live in MOval?
Well, we do have a lot of coronavirus resources. I would encourage you to check out moval.org/coronavirus resources. And it's really neat. It's like a little booklet that staff made. It's a great booklet. I think it's like, if I recall, it's like 28 pages, but it has a table of contents, and it really is organized. It talks about COVID-19 testing information, how you can get tested, talks about state and local orders, the health resources, senior shopping hours at local stores, food pantry information. We also have a list as well of restaurants that are offering curbside pickup, and we have this resource guide actually very active, and we have people updating this every single day. So that's what I would do, is to really go to moval.org/coronavirus resources. And then right there, there's a lot of different resources that are available. If you're looking for like financial resources and those kinds of things, I would go to benefits.gov and then follow the process and answer the questions there. And then that will also tell you what types of financial benefits you can receive from the state. And I just wanted to say that, again, we're constantly updating that community resource guide. So there may be some information that may be a little outdated, but we constantly update that all the time. Thank you. Okay, next question.
Our next participant asks, how are you defining which businesses are essential and which are not?
Well, this is another question I constantly get a lot as well, and I just want to make it clear that it is confusing. It can be very, very confusing. There's the 16 essential sectors, but I want to make it very clear that the City of Moreno Valley does not identify essential or non-essential businesses. That actually is the state of California, so it's actually the governor. The governor is the one that has defined which businesses can be open, not me, not the city council or the city. And so you can find more of that information at covid19.ca.gov. If you go there, so covid19.ca.gov, and you can find out which sectors. But just in short, to summarize a little bit here, some of the businesses that are open or that can be open include gas stations, pharmacies, stores that sell food, including grocery stores, farmer markets, food banks, convenience stores, takeout and delivery restaurants, laundromats as well, and then of course essential state and local governments, so we can operate like our police and fire and pothole programs as well. Some of the programs that are currently closed that I do recall are dine-in restaurants, and although that's in stage 2 and the governor is on Friday going to be releasing some more information, and depending on what the county does, maybe that might move the process a little faster as well. Bars and nightclubs, entertainment venues, gyms, fitness studios, public events, gatherings, convention centers, hair and nail salons are unfortunately still closed.
Our next participant asks, will the mayor offer coronavirus testing to all Moreno Valley residents?
Okay, well, I've gotten that question as well, and I just want to make it very clear that it's important to understand Moreno Valley residents can be tested even without symptoms right here in Moreno Valley. So we can be tested right here in Moreno Valley. All coronavirus testing is conducted, well actually most of the coronavirus testing is conducted with our local hospital system, with the county. The good news is that we have the county actually right here in the city of Moreno Valley. We also, the county has expanded the testing, if you haven't heard yet, to actually, there's a total of 13 sites. So 5 sites through the county, and then 8 new additional sites with the state. And so what you do is you just basically go to rivcoph.org, rivcoph.org. Took me a while to memorize these, but rivcoph.org, and then you can follow the steps there to schedule an appointment. You can also call their number as well, and their phone number is actually right there as well at rivcoph.org to schedule an appointment. But yeah, definitely, you can go to our county hospital, but you got to schedule that appointment. Or you can also go to any clinics that maybe you have private insurance through Blue Shield or Kaiser or anything like that, and they're offering free testing right now as well.
Our next participant asks, what are you doing to feed members of our community who are going without basic nutrition?
Okay, that's a great question. That's a great question. Can you repeat the question one more time?
What are you doing to feed members of our community who are going without basic nutrition?
Okay, so one of the things that we're doing is we have the MOval Meals program that we've already implemented. This is a program that we did not have before, and we literally had to build the airplane in the air within 2 weeks. I mean, it was very, very fast, or even faster than that. And this is a program where we provide weekly care packages to our residents. So that's something that we're doing. We also have the food pantries and the nonprofits throughout the city where we have that coordinated as well. If you go to rivcoaging.org, you can also look at where some of these food pantries are at. You can also go to moval.org/food. Again, moval.org/food, and then you can also find out more information about some of the things that we're doing there as far as food and helping our seniors, the food pantries, and just some of those issues as well. We do have specialized meal programs for some of our seniors as well, and this is through the Family Service Association, so it's administered through, actually run by the city, and this is through the Senior Center, and they also do deliver meals as well. And then also, like I mentioned, the Senior Eats program, the MOval Senior Eats program, the new program that I'm so excited in partnership with the governor's office, it will be rolling out in the next couple weeks, and we're going to be helping a lot of seniors that way. Thank you for that question.
Okay, our next participant asks, what is the plan for opening churches?
Okay, so what I can tell you is that right now, and that's a very big question that's actually very concerning for many folks. I was going to church every Sunday, and I miss it. I miss it so much. I was actually going with my mom all the time, and it's just been a big struggle with that. And doing it virtually, it's just not the same. It really isn't. But we do got to make sure that we have precautions. We do got to make sure that the churches have the right infrastructure and programs and rules and all of that. So I'm looking forward to hopefully, the governor, moving us forward in that stage, and I'm looking forward to that. And I do understand that right now we're in stage 2 now, and that the county, depending on what they decide, can, has some wiggle room there. So I'm looking forward to see what happens on Friday. I think that will be a really good indication to see kind of what happens there. But definitely, I understand your concern, share your frustration, and but again, it's still uncertain right now because the governor still has his stay-at-home order with that. But again, he is giving regional variation. That's what he said in his press briefing. To individual counties to move faster in stage 2 if the county decides to. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next participant asks, my husband and I are running low on activities for our children while we stay at home. What can you do to help?
Well, thank you for that question. I was a teacher with Moreno Valley Unified School District for several years, and so making sure that children are well taken care of is really important to me, and that they have that opportunity to have activities is really important. We do have some educational programs and tools that are kind of out there. Some of the activities that we encourage people to be doing, obviously, playing board games, just the basic things like that, reading, preparing meals together, learning a new skill. We have a virtual program that Parks has actually started as well, playing in your yard, exercise routines, any one of those types of activities will help. Just to tell you a little bit what staff is actually doing, because staff, being honest here, with Parks and Recreation, they miss the kids. They miss the kids. Our after-school program through Think Together, which is run by the city, they miss the kids so much. They really, really do. I was talking to one of the staff members from Time for Tots. They miss the kids as well. So, but until we can get together again, our friends at the City Parks and Community Services Department, they launched a virtual play program, and it's a website, so you can check that out. If you go to MOval.org and then type virtual play in the search bar, there's a lot of fun activities for them to do and to actually explore, and tours and other different things as well. And just another thing to mention, this is another reason why this Friday we are opening our parks, obviously with limitations, to make sure that there's social distancing and those things, but it will be open because it's important. It's important that people get fresh air. It's important that, kids are able to go out, people are able to go out, but again, following common sense, social distancing, wearing the face mask is very important. Okay, next question.
Okay, Mayor, this one I've seen, and it's being asked by several people.
Okay.
I am in a very fortunate position, and I would like to be of service. What can you do to help?
Well, great. Well, I think there's a number of things that we can do. Number one, we can, first of all, I just want to say, it's always important to look for the helpers, right? And I think that, you being a helper, that's a great thing. Actually, I talked about that in my State of the City last year. But there are several ways that you can contribute to your community, depending on if you, for example, have the finances. Number one, you can donate to MOval Meals program to help more seniors and residents with disabilities. You can also donate to the Moreno Valley Community Foundation, which is a nonprofit that the City of Moreno Valley has as well. You can go to the GoFundMe account for MOval Meals on Facebook. And, we recommend, all of that, or any food banks. You can go to any of the food banks, any charities, Salvation Army, Feeding America. You can donate that way as well. And even if you have goods, that's a good way as well that you can actually help. If you are interested in donating your time, I do want to say that the County of Riverside is urging residents to volunteer for medical and non-medical positions. And again, you can go to rivcoph.org to find out more about these opportunities. Again, rivcoph.org to find more opportunities about how to volunteer either medically or non-medically with the county. You can do that as well. And again, thank you for that question. And we are proud to share our community with people like you.
The next participant asks, is there any place for homeless people to go since they can't stay at home if they don't have any homes?
Okay, great. Yes, definitely there is. That's a very good question, and thank you, number one, for thinking of the homeless, of the underserved members of our community. And I am very aware of the needs of our homeless population, in the city of Moreno Valley. What I can tell you is that in addition to some of the programs that we have, the county has started a program where they will actually help put the homeless individual and provide the homeless individual with a room in a hotel or a motel to provide that opportunity for them. We are still operating our Homeless to Work program in the city of Moreno Valley, where we actually have folks going out through the Salvation Army and finding the homeless and reaching out and telling them the various different services that we are offering to them. And then at the same time, they get to work and they get to make some income in beautifying the city and cleaning the city as well. And that program has been very, very successful, and it's still operating. Even right now, obviously, wearing gloves, face masks, social distancing, and all of that, but it is still operating. The county, like I mentioned, that hotel and motel housing program that they have, you can go, if you Google Home Connect, one word, Home Connect, you can find the hotline there, and then you can actually, if you know other people that maybe know homeless individuals or anything like that, you can let them know, and then they can send people out to help the homeless community.
Our next participant asks, why do you support reopening the economy when people are still contracting and dying from the virus?
Okay, well, it's very important to know that the virus is here. The virus is here. It's still going around rampant, and it's not even in 18 months when we have a vaccine. It's going to be very difficult to still stop that. But what I can tell you is that so that's one thing that we have to keep in mind, that kids need to obviously go to school in the long run. Individuals need to see their parents, and parents need to have that contact with their kids, and I'm talking about the older parents in senior homes and things like that. So we just have to follow precautions and take those measures in place, making sure we have the face mask and those kinds of things. But I think that, if we take those precautions, and individual businesses and individual organizations have a plan, and they can submit that to the county, and it's very thorough, and the county approves it and the state approves it, I don't see what the problem is there. And I want to let the public know that the goal, the essence of the whole issue of that of closing down the businesses was so that we don't overwhelm the hospital system, right? And I think we did a good job. We did a great job in not overwhelming the hospital system, okay, because there was not a surge in that respect. So we did flatten the curve. And I want to make it very clear that the City Council and I, we're going to be taking a very close look at this. That's why we're allowing the parks to reopen with limitations, and we're following the guidelines. We're following the guidelines that the county has. So I'm very eager to see what the county decides this Friday as far as their health orders, and then we will proceed that way. But what I can tell you is that no matter what happens, we will always take precautions. We will always make sure that we have our face masks, that we are having sanitizers for the public and individual businesses, that they're taking those precautions as well too. So it's very, very important.
Thank you, Mayor. Also, to piggyback on these types of questions, we're receiving this one just in a different format. If the county rescinds face coverings, will you require it in MOval? And why should I have to wear a mask if I'm willing to take the risk?
Well, if the county rescinds the face mask, I'm not going to advocate to require it. I will recommend, that you wear a face mask. Even myself, when I go out to the public, and even after, if they rescind it, I'm going to still wear a face mask because, it is out there. The virus is still out there. We still don't have a vaccine. We still don't have a cure. But it is recommended, and it will be recommended. So it won't be as something that we require. Was there a second part to that, Pat?
It just says, why should I have to wear a mask if I'm willing to take the risk?
Well, part of that is, I think there was a second part to that. Well, part of that is that, we just want to try to limit the spread. We want to limit and slow the spread, and that's really what face masks actually do. But if the county does rescind, then it will just be a recommendation. It'll be a recommendation that you wear your face mask, and then just common sense, social distancing, washing your hands, if you're sick, stay home, those types of things, and just be a good neighbor. Just be a good neighbor to each and every one.
Our next question, how can we go back to work if the schools are still closed?
Well, as an educator, I can tell you I understand the value of our school system, and I think what you're referring there is to, when we will be reopening the schools, and I think that's a very difficult problem, obviously, to solve, but it could be, a while, until maybe we have a vaccine or treatments or those types of things. But that's something that's really held more at the school district level. And so Moreno Valley Unified School District and Val Verde Unified School District, they both have individual school boards, and those boards will actually make the decision. Now, I do know that the Governor Newsom has suggested that school could start as early as July, but he hasn't really shared many details on that idea. But like I mentioned, the actual decision of when the kids can go back and those types of things really rests with the school districts, because they have to negotiate with the unions, the teacher unions and the associations on which days they can actually open. So there is that uncertainty, but I do know that if not, at least the regular day, the regular time and date that they decided before would actually take place. And I do want to say that we do, as a city, we do administer some programs that do relate to kids, like, for example, the Time for Tots, our 5 other preschool centers as well, and our after-school programs at the 44 school sites that we have throughout the city. And we will gladly open those as long as we're following the CDC guidelines and the state of California guidelines and the county guidelines, with social distancing and making sure that, the schools are actually open, because that's where the kids are at. That's where we operate the program. So we have to have the schools open. So once we have the schools open, then we'll have those programs for the after-school programs ready for the kids.
Next question, is the city going to have to lay off employees?
I've read a post about this on Facebook, on some of the Facebook pages, that, there were some rumors going around that we were going to be laying individuals off and things like that. And that's not my intention. It's not the intention of the city council. It's not the intention of the city manager, of the staff, of the executive staff, to lay anyone off. But I'm going to be honest with you, this has impacted the city, just like it's impacted many other cities. Just to tell you in short, we're looking at about a shortfall of $9 million by July of this month. We're also looking at up to from $9 million to up to $32 million shortfall next year as well. And this has to do because of the loss in sales tax revenue and then the tax deferral as well for businesses. And other reasons as well, we're going to have less revenue in gas tax and TOT and everything like that. But I just want to let you know that at last night's city council meeting, we did come to an agreement with our employee unions and associations, and I want to thank them, for stepping up and agreeing to a furlough program, which will be basically on Fridays, that will allow us to provide essential city services and avoid those layoffs, which is really important. So I think we were very creative, and I just want to say, we have been able to balance the budget in the last 8 years. We've had a phenomenal economy, 20,000 new jobs. Everything was great, until this pandemic happened, just like in any other city and in our nation. But it is going to be something that we're really monitoring, and depending on how the situation goes, we have to look at what we're doing. But what I can tell you is that our executive team, from the executive team, the council, everyone has taken a pay cut, and we're all in this together. Because we want to get through this together, and we're stronger together.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next question.
So the short answer is no layoffs right now because we have the furlough program.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next question is, why aren't you wearing a mask right now?
Okay, that's a great question. Well, number one, I'm alone, in the council chamber right now. I mean, we do have two media individuals, and they're wearing face masks, but they are on the opposite end. I've actually got that question too. One time I was driving and I wasn't wearing a face mask either. But and also just to be honest, it's very difficult to speak with the face mask. So and I want to make sure that I'm articulate enough. We do have residents that are hearing impaired and all those things as well. And so it's just really important to be clear. And I want to be clear tonight.
Okay, our next participant asks, why am I being forced to use Zoom to view city council meetings?
Okay, well, it's important to know that you can still actually go to YouTube, you can use Facebook, and my understanding is that our media team actually puts those meetings live, so you can watch those meetings live, on YouTube, Facebook, and then also if you go to MOval.org and you go to City Hall and then you go to council meetings, you can actually watch the meeting live, and that's a program we call Granicus. So you can do that as well. The Zoom platform is really more for the public comment. So if you want to make a public comment, that's an opportunity. I think it's the most user-friendly one, to be honest. I think that the public can take part on, and it helps, remain transparent, with everyone. As we all adapt and learn a new way of doing businesses, sometimes it can be difficult to learn new programs. It was for me and for some of the staff as well, and I know it is even for the council as well. So, keep that in mind.
Thank you, Mayor. Our last question. I lost my dog yesterday. Is the animal shelter open?
Okay, so what I can tell you is that we do have the animal shelter open as far as services, and so that is taking place. You do have to call the animal shelter phone number, or you can go to moval.org and then see that as well to make an appointment. The hours there are from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., but you do have to make an appointment. So I want to make that very clear. That's Monday. So Tuesday through Friday, it's going to be 9:30 to 5:30 p.m. And then Saturday is, I believe, 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So I love dogs, and I have 2 dogs, so that was very important to me. And I just want to say that, our shelter is technically still open, but you do have to make an appointment to go there. And you can also go to Harbor. If you go to moval.org and then search Harbor, and then you can search for your pets there as well.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to assure the participants that their questions were not answered today via Zoom, that staff will be getting back to them on your behalf, and we will be answering those questions.
Okay, thank you. And I believe, right, Pat, that they had to put an email address?
Yes, we will get back to them if they provided us an email address.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we will respond to you, and depending on if it's a personal question or something like that, I will also call you as well, or actually email you. And I just want to say, just in short, it looks like that's all the time, obviously, we have right now. So thanks so much. I want to thank everybody on Zoom that's participating. I want to also just share with you guys and remind everyone to visit moval.org/coronavirus for more information. I think that's very important because at that website right there, we have all the information right there. So I truly, truly hope that you found this information helpful. Remember, we're going to be having the microgrants program for the businesses. We also have loosened the regulations for Hire MOval, Hire a Vet, Hire a Grad program, so that way we can use some of those monies if you qualify for those programs. And we also are going to have our MOval Senior Eats program, where we're working with restaurants and providing 2 free meals a day for our seniors. And then I just want you to know that our city's government is here, and we're doing all we can to respond to the many challenges that you're facing and that we're all facing with city services. And please keep up the great work with physical distancing. I think we're doing a great job with the regular hand washing, staying at home for the time being. And again, just remember, this is not going to last forever. We're going to get through this most difficult time, and we're going to make it to the other side. Okay, we're going to make it to the other side safely. We're going to get through it, and we're going to be even stronger when we do. And I want to just thank all the Moreno Valley residents for your patience and your support. Stay safe.